Hi, this is Samantha Anderson, Director of Communications for Newton Public Schools, and I'm here with Superintendent Van Rankin, and we're here to go over last night's Board of Education meeting, as well as answer any questions you may have about the board meeting or anything else going on in the district. As always, please leave your questions in the comment section, and we'll get to them as soon as possible. Well, first things first, we did have a board meeting last night, and we didn't really touch on it too much, but just as a reminder for the people watching, we are switching to full on site for everybody in flexible mode. So not those who picked remote, but for everybody else, they'll be on site starting March 1st. Can you just kind of go into what led to that decision and why we decided to go that route?
Well, the area numbers have been great for quite some time. Ever since the Christmas holiday, really. When I look at the gating numbers, and if you guys, those are always in board docs, if you want to ever download any of that information. When I pull out my sheet here, the last few weeks, we've been in, well, what would have been the green color. In other words, our percent positive and our trend and our attendance, those three values that we use for gating, have shown ever since really the Christmas break. We've been in either yellow or green, and honestly 2 of the last 3 weeks we've been in that green mode collectively. So when we look at our cases, they're down tremendously, as are our quarantine cases. So that trend across the state and across the region allows us to really do that. There was actually a couple of hour period, I believe it was last week, where we had 0 staff cases totally. So right now, I think yesterday we had 2 student cases and 2 staff. I think we're up to 3 staff cases right now. So we feel good about the statistics from a COVID perspective. We also feel pretty good about the fact that we are getting a lot of our staff members vaccinated. We had several groups today got a second shot. On March the 9th, there is a large contingency of us that are going to also get a second shot. So with the progress of the vaccinations, the case counts, and then also thinking about we have the symptomatic and the asymptomatic testing that's available for staff, and in some cases the symptomatic testing available for students. We feel like we've got pretty good safety measures that allow on-site attendance to make it a possibility to where we should be able to count on that, unless the wheels fall off and we have the variants that show up and all of that other stuff. But I just don't envision that happening right now.
All right, and this is just a reminder, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments section. Once we recap the Board of Education meeting, we'll stay around for a couple of questions, but if there aren't any, we will get an early start to our evening. Now, the calendar for next year was approved by the board. Will you just give us some of the highlights, what parents can expect? I know we had some changes this year to our calendar, obviously, but what will it look like next year?
It's a pretty traditional calendar for Newton. What you've come to expect the last few years, outside of the COVID year, obviously. School will officially start on the 12th of August. It'll end on the 17th of May. Winter break will go from the 21st of December to the 1st of January. Spring break will be March 14th through the 18th. There are actually a couple of more attendance days in this calendar than in previous years, based upon our negotiations with teachers this past year. We've removed 7 hours of family engagement, and we removed essentially a day of professional development that's been converted. So there are actually 2 more attendance days in that calendar. So pretty standard calendar.
All right, and last but definitely not least, we did have a staff member recognized at last night's board meeting. Can you let us know who it was and why?
Yeah, it's kind of exciting. Jane Nichols is our HR director, and she was nominated actually by the Newton Chamber of Commerce, which I really appreciate them making that nomination. She was nominated to the Wichita Business Journal as their HR Professional of the Year, and we found out about that award. I believe it would have been on the 11th of February, and we just kind of made it public last night at the Board of Education meeting. There will be a virtual award ceremony in early April. And we've got to do a few things to kind of help Jane get prepared for that, make a little video and do some stuff like that. So If anybody knows anything about human resources, that's a pretty varied job. And when it's in the school system especially, there are so many different specialties that she has to develop, and she just does an outstanding job. I'm so thankful to have her here on staff. So a well-deserved award for Jane from the Wichita Business Journal.
All right, well, if no one has any questions, it was a short board meeting, so maybe it'll be a short live. We'll go ahead and end the live, but if you think of one question later or anything, just feel free to email us at info@usd373.org, info@usd373.org. Mr. Van Rankin, do you have anything to add?
No, once again, nice to not be minus 16 or 17 degrees. 66 degrees outside. We'll go enjoy the evening, Sam. Thank you for your time.
Thank you everyone for watching. Have a great night.